Are you looking to move to Connecticut, but you're unsure if you're buying a home in a market that's about to crash? Hi, I'm Joe Cafasso, and I've been a realtor in Connecticut for the past 21 years. If you're looking for information on moving to the state, either the market conditions or towns themselves, feel free to like this channel and subscribe to it, and I'll send you out videos once a week on different towns and different things that you should consider when moving to Connecticut. A lot of people are talking about the market and crashing and speculation that we're in the middle of a crash. I'm sure you realize that real estate is local. So what happens in one state or even one town isn't necessarily what's happening in another state. However, if we look at the nationwide view of the housing market, there's three pieces of data that will be important to us to look at in terms of housing stability. First, this week the Federal Reserve met for the fifth month in a row and did not lower the prime rate. So interest rates put a downward pressure on the market. However, they also keep inventory low. So even though the Fed hasn't lowered rates, even though inflation and other economic criteria is looking favorable, that hasn't really put that much of a downward pressure on the market, only because it's also keeping homes from coming on the market. It has, however, caused housing to be at all-time lows for affordability. The second point of data that you should look at is pending home sales. They fall at 0.8% last month. While less than 1% isn't that huge of a change, that combined with more homes on the market for inventory does mean that there's more supply. When more supply increases, prices will stabilize and start to decrease. The third point of data that you should look at is mortgage applications. Last week, the mortgage industry reported that applications fell 10%. Now, and that's for both purchases and refinancing. Now, that could mean a sign of the market cooling off, but it could also be attributed to the fact that in July, many people go on vacation, so there's less movement in the market altogether. The rule of thumb is usually that 70% of homes that sell for the year are sold by July 1st. So having a slowdown in the mortgage application process isn't that critical of a view, in my opinion. Now, if that rate keeps going and keeps decreasing, or even stays flat without increasing, because a 10% decrease is significant, then I would start being concerned in the next couple months or weeks. So the bottom line is, I think it's still safe to say that the market is cooling off nationwide. In Connecticut, we're starting to see a slight slowdown. Now, will that continue and will there be a market crash in Connecticut? I'm sure there will be, but I don't foresee that to happen for the next 12 to 18 months. So if you're looking to move to Connecticut and you're moving for employment or a family situation where you have to move, feel free to reach out to me and I will help guide you in the process that will help protect your investment over the long term. If you're looking just for a change of pace and you're moving from a state, that's equal to Connecticut in terms of a strong market, then you're at a net even right now. So it all really depends on your individual situation. I don't see in the near future a huge market correction in Connecticut like we are seeing in other states such as Florida. So if you're selling in Florida, this might be a good time if you've definitely decided to sell to move to Connecticut where we're still seeing appreciation. If you'd like statistics on a particular town individually, please comment below and I'll reach out to you and I'll send you. I have data for every single 168 towns in Connecticut. I will send you the information that will help make your decision smoother.